Shalom, Mishpachah. I hope you are having a fantastic day despite what is going on in the world. I just wanted to come on and briefly give you some encouragement and some advice concerning what we see going on and how we should move and how we should be praying. I really don't want to get into the events itself because, that's it's a touchy topic for us Israelites to speak on these social media platforms. It seems that other people can speak on it, but when we speak on it, we really get in trouble, for the lack of a better word. So my focus is what our mindset should be. For me, I am a stickler for following the feast days and the calendar of the Most High. So if you celebrate the feast and if you celebrate Hanukkah in Purim, you will understand the seasons that we are in and the season that we are getting ready to enter into, which is Pesach or Passover. And so I celebrate Hanukkah and Purim as well. They are cultural holidays or cultural feast days that were added. We can find them in First Maccabees, Second Maccabees. We can find them in John, I believe. Hanukkah is found in. We can find Purim in the whole book of Esther. So for me, understanding that we are still in the season of the witch, we have not left this particular season. And how do we know that? Because when we leave the Feast of Tabernacles, we enter right into the season of the witch. And there are two feasts of ours that are in the season of the witch, in which we fight, right? So if you know anything about Hanukkah and you know anything about Purim, we are fighting for our lives. There is a lot of spiritual warfare in that season. And we know this because our feast days, whether it is commanded or not, Hanukkah and Purim tells us that every year during the season of the witch, we have to fight for our lives. It's spelled out. We don't have to guess. We don't have to look for prophetic utterances. We know by our kingdom calendar what the season is going to be like. So we are still in the season of the witch. Some of us have celebrated Purim already. Some of us will get ready to celebrate Purim, and I'm one of them getting ready to celebrate Purim. So I'm like, this is what I expect, especially looking at the calendar 5782. Now, this is the year we believe we are in. I know there are many calendars and people have different opinions, but for me, this is the calendar that I follow, the 5782. So when you break down each of those, which I will not do here, when you break down each of those numbers, there's a letter connected and you're going to get a message. So I hope you do your due diligence and you study for yourself to find out what is this message inside of 5782. And it is going to tell you how the year is going to go. Again, we don't have to guess. The calendar, Yah's calendar is perfect and it speaks for itself. So Purim is coming up. We are in spiritual warfare. We see the things playing out. And one thing I wanted to also talk about is that this does affect us. I know a lot of people say that ain't my business, let them do what they do. And technically, it's true, but spiritually, this is going to affect us. It has already started affecting people because they are making memes about it. They think they got a golden ticket into the kingdom because they're Israelites and they are missing what is happening. And we have to understand that what has come, what is coming, and what has already come is affecting us. They are getting ready to do their transition into another system. So you can't sit here and ignore it and just think that Yah is just going to rain down, blessings upon you because you are an Israelite. You have to have an ear to hear. You have to understand what is going on. You need to use your discernment. You need to stay in prayer and seek Yah on how you and your family is supposed to move in this season. You can't sit back and say, I'm eating my popcorn, watching them act the fool. When this thing is over, there will be a transition of power and a transition into a new system. What are you going to do? We are already at the bottom economically. Okay. So what are you going to do? I hope that you have been stocking up. I hope that you have had a plan of action if the grid goes down, an EMP attack. I hope that you have some cash stored away. Okay. I hope that you have been looking at the cryptocurrency that is going to be our new currency. You cannot deny this fact. We use the wicked dollar with all type of wicked symbols on there. Okay. So now we're going to transition into a new system of currency, and it's crypto. And I hope that you have been taking the time to learn about crypto and what that means for you in this new era that we are entering into, if you make it, right? If you make it. And so I don't want us to be ignorant to the devices of Hasatan and just think that when this transition happens, you magically are just going to be shifted to the other side. Okay, when you get to the other side and you realize that you have no money, that your dollar means nothing, you didn't store up, you didn't have a plan of action for the EMP, attack, you're probably going to be one of the ones that fall, that is full of fear. You're not going to know what to do. And you're going to fall in line with the agenda because you are not going to have a choice because you did not prepare. One of the things that the Most High gave my husband 2 years ago, because I told my husband, I said, it's shifted. I said, honey, and you need to go to the Most High and you need to come back with a word because I was like, I'm not going into this season right before, COVID hit. I'm not going into this season blindly, not knowing what we should do. I was like, get in the Most High's face as a prophet of the house and come back with a word. And it was so funny because my husband knew I was serious. And when he came back, he told me, Yah told him to prepare and trust no man. Oh my goodness. Those words are still ringing true. And when he came back with those two prophetic words, I was like, what in the world is going to really happen? And man, the chain of events that has happened in our own personal lives, along with what's happening in the world, that prophetic word is and was right on point. So I am still hanging to those prophetic words. Prepare and trust no man. And we are still entering into the belly of it all. And we haven't even seen the destruction and the chaos that is coming. And I just want to share that, when I was telling my husband to get that word, I had two prophetic visions. One was right before COVID hit. I seen the prime minister or president of China along with his men, and they were smiling. And above their heads was the word warship. And it was just, I just seen them and they were just standing there smiling. In the same manner as when I laughed when I seen Barack Obama before he became president. And I laughed and I said, they are never going to let a Black man become president. And I remember that night, y'all letting me see that President Obama was standing there smiling. And I'm like, why am I looking at this man standing there smiling? That's all he was doing. And that man became president. And I cracked up because y'all heard me laughing and said, they ain't gonna never let no Black man become president. And he became president. So it is with this prime minister of China in this warship. And when I saw it, I knew for a fact he was smiling and his men was smiling that it was going to happen. And it was going to happen, you know, within my lifetime, within your lifetime, within my children's lifetime. And we were going to see it rather quickly. The other vision I had a few months ago was that I had a vision, and I cannot tell you all of what was going on because everything was going on. The chaos was so overwhelming. I heard gunshots, I heard missiles, I saw fire, I saw smoke, I saw helicopters, I heard people screaming, I saw people running. It was so much that I saw, I couldn't focus. And I had two young children with me, and I had a lifeless baby in my arm. And I don't know if the baby was dead. The baby just appeared to be lifeless. And I was holding on to that baby, crying. The children was crying and I was crying. I mean, this wasn't a regular cry. This was from my soul crying. And the baby turned around, one of them, and said, Mama, why are you crying? And I said, because I am so tired. And I knew that I was barely making it in the vision. I was barely making it. Yes, I made it, but I was barely making it. And I remember waking up sobbing because that's how strong I was crying in the vision, that I woke up crying. And I cannot shake that feeling. And I said, okay, people don't understand what we are getting ready to go into. And with the events that are unfolding, it is here. And my heart and my spirit and my soul, I have so many mixed emotions. I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm a little anxious. You know, I don't have fear because of something that's going to happen to me. You know, I'm just looking at all of those who think they are awake. A lot of Israelites we're not going to see, they're going to fall. And I don't mean fall by death, right? Because maybe that is the case, but I mean fall spiritually. They are going to turn away because they were not rooted in their faith. They just like being Israelites. They just like wearing head wraps and dresses and fringes and telling people you got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And they didn't really have the seed of Torah or the seed of the Messiah in their hearts. And that is what I am just so like, I don't know, I'm just kind of sad about that all of the people that we see on YouTube and social media, we're not going to see them anymore. And that's hard for me to say because it's like, who is she? Who is she to say that? I am prophetic intercessor first. Yah gave me that gift back in 1996. I've always had the gift of sight before I knew anything about who I am or even going to church. I've been seeing in the spiritual realm since I was 5 years old. That's the earliest remembrance of me having sight into the spiritual realm. So, you know, I don't say this to be haughty because again, as I said, I see myself barely making it. But there are others who are not rooted and grounded. And I hope I'm not speaking to some of you. I hope that you are rooted and grounded. I hope to see you when the smoke clears. I hope the women that I'm studying with, I get to see when the smoke clears. That we are not just excited about who we are, but that we are rooted and grounded in Mashiach, that we are rooted and grounded in Torah, because the Mashiach is the living, breathing Torah. So if we're not rooted and grounded, we are going to get sifted really easy. And my prayer and my heart is saying, please get serious. Whatever you need to be healed from, please get in the face of Yah and be healed. Whatever problems that you are facing, which is causing you to be an active participant in sin, and you know you are in sin, and you just saying, hey, I just can't help myself, I suggest you get in the face of Yah and you do some fasting and some praying, because you are not going to make it to the other side. If you are addicted to drugs in this season, I suggest that you get in the face of the Most High and get the help that you need, because Pesach is coming. So we are leaving the season where we are fighting with our faith, and we are fighting, and we are entering into that divine judgment season, which is Pesach. And we want the death angel to pass over us. We want the death angel to pass over our households. And I want to share this testimony. When I first began to celebrate Pesach, I didn't even know how to celebrate. And we were going through it. Like, we were going through it, and we were losing our house, and we were losing our trucking business. And Pesach came, and I didn't even know how to celebrate it. And I remember trying to look at YouTube videos and study blogs and websites. And I said, okay, y'all, I had this favorite rug that I was going to sell anyway, because we needed money. We were selling our assets. Like, it was a very hard time. And I told the Most High, I said, look, by faith, I'm going to sell my rug, and I'm going to take most of it and put it as an offering for Pesach. Because at that time, my oldest son, who we now know is bipolar, he was addicted to drugs. He was out in the streets. I mean, he was out in the streets bad. And I said, I don't know where he is. And he was also handicapped. He had a brainstem stroke. So he had a lot of things going on. And I was just like so fearful that my son would die in the streets. And we had a prophet came and told me that my son would die in the streets like a fool. Like, that was the prophetic word I got. And I said, oh no, he will not. Because the prophet came to me, and then they didn't even offer prayer. They was like, he gonna die in the streets like a fool. That's what I saw. And I'm like, oh no, he not. And as a prophetic intercessor myself, I went against that. And Pesach came, and I said, yeah, by faith, I'm going to give this offering. And I need to know if my son is going to be all right. If you say that death is going to pass us over if we celebrate this feast, I need to know that this is true. You know, I need to know, should I be celebrating this? Is this just for, certain people? Is this for us now? And I gave that offering to a particular ministry who was celebrating Pesach, and I went to bed. And at 3 a.m., I hadn't heard from my son in months. And at 3 a.m., my son called me at 3 a.m. If you know anything about Pesach, 3 a.m. is very crucial time. And he said, Ma, I just want to let you know I am okay. I am fine. And he said, basically just, he know I'm a prayer warrior. Just keep praying for me. And I was like, OMG, the Most High heard me. he heard me. And I knew from that moment on, even though my son was still in the streets, that Yah heard my cry. He saw my faith. I didn't even have the whole Pesach dinner. I think I got some crackers that had leaven in it, okay, and some grape juice. Because at that time, I hadn't told my family that I was actively trying to seek out Torah. I was doing this on my own. And that's what I mean. Like, before you try to tell your family and shove this thing down their throat, make sure you understand it. Okay. So I was secretly, doing this. Okay. And I had some crackers with lemon in it and some grape juice. And I called myself, celebrating Passover. Okay, just doing it all wrong. But Yah saw the intent of my heart. He heard me. He saw that I was seeking him and that I actually wanted to know. He didn't punish me because I had some leavened crackers and some grape juice. He heard my cry and he answered my prayer to let me know, daughter, I hear you. And I am so grateful that you are coming closer to me. Now, let me teach you about Pesach. I will never forget that, my first year celebrating Passover. So I compel you all, this is not about your father being a taskmaster and he's going to strike you down the moment that you do anything wrong. He is a loving father. Torah is instructions given to his beloved children so he could teach us how to live. He could teach us how to love one another. He could teach us how to love him most of all. This is what Torah is about. It's not about some laws, statutes, and commandments. That is a Western transliteration of Torah. And I know that's what we got to work with, but I'm trying to get you all back to the heart of the Father. Stop looking at him like if you do something wrong, he's going to cast down judgment on you because you messed up. That's not his intent. Yes, there are consequences when we mess up, but he is not trying to punish you every day, all day. He loves you and he's compelling you to come up higher. So we must come up higher. We can't stay down low forever. We have to come closer to him. We are entering the season of divine judgment. Let our houses be in order and let the death angel pass over us, pass over our families. As we repent, turn back to Yah, and ask him, how do we keep your holy instructions in the land of our captivity? Okay, so that was on my heart. I hope that I have encouraged somebody. I hope that you heard me about getting your houses in order and how to do that, your finances. Yah will make a way. He made a way for me and my husband when we was losing everything. And now we're back to gaining what we have lost, but it is for the kingdom. It is to employ our people in the neighborhood. It is to feed the widows and take care of them and the orphans and the homeless. The finances that Yah have blessed us with is to help our people. So we just thank and praise the Most High for everything that he is doing. We thank and praise Mashiach for living out Torah before us so that we can know how to walk it out in this territory that he has given us. So I really hope that helped you. And I hope to chat with you all in the next video. I'm going to continue to make videos until he tells me to stop, until we can't make videos anymore. And for the women, if you would like to connect with the Torah study group, please message me, let me know, and I'll be happy to add you. All right. I love you, Israel. Ahava Atah. Shalom Aleichem.